Hello, 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 hello. What's up? What's going on, Cage? What's up, brother? The two questions I want to bring up is there any updates on the After Action Report summary page? Ooh, it's a great question, man. That's a great question. The unfortunate thing about a lot of these, the unfortunate thing about like the dev streams, and how do you get that famed legendary sloth nameplate? Let me let me pull up the Discord here. Hold on, because they were talking about it in here. If you at Suki is okay, he said he has it. Um, so hold on. Suki said he has it. They were actually just talking about it. Let me see. He said he was doing something. There's something in the Kate stuff. Um, and he said he was able to nab it that way. Suki, how did you get the sloth? You'd have to, if he replies to me, then I'll relay it back. But, and I asked, he has no idea. He says something to do. Hold on. Here it is. So last night I finished taking aim on PC. I made sure to explore and get all the question marks. And when I finished, I checked my nameplates and I had the sloths. Pretty good, just playing Russ. Ooh, honestly, don't know. I got them again last time. I finished taking it. Don't know where, when, or how. All good, man. Appreciate it. All right, guys. So if you're just chilling today is the dev stream for Avengers. So we're just gonna kind of watch and see what happens. I think these go for like an hour and a half. And then after that, I may play a little Avengers after, but I got a hockey game at 7 o'clock that I gotta watch. So we'll just kind of see how it goes, man. We'll see what's chilling, you know. All right, we're just waiting for the stream to start here, fellas. For anyone who's like, what are we doing? We're just waiting. So yeah, so the only reason I'm streaming this is like this chat's probably gonna be a mess today. So I figured, why not have a nice chill chat, you know? Andy dropped a bunch of orange juice on his keyboard and his one of his iPods, so he needs to fix stuff. Cool. So we're just waiting. I have great news too. Yo, Mamu, what's up, brother? Yeah, of course, dude. We all got great news today. I got a puppy. It's a Yorkie. JJ, can you tweet me pictures? I'd love to see your puppy, dude. Can you tweet me pictures? Taco about exciting. Taco Bell is bringing a fan fade back, and we testing vegan meat soon. I got news. I got you best news of the day from PETA. Dude, I want Taco Bell so bad. I was gonna order Taco Bell for dinner last night, and then I realized it's in the mall, and like the mall is like not really closed down. Hold on, I gotta adjust my mic arm. But like they're not really doing anything in the mall, so it's like couldn't order it. So big sad. At least they came fast in the Avengers Cloning Lab though. True. I mean, true. I actually started that video yesterday, guys. So if you guys don't know, I'm working on a video right now about the whole timetable of Cloning Labs. So right now I've kind of pieced together what do I have so far? I got 4 different video clips. I got 5 screenshots. I've created graphics and I got to record. Hopefully I have that out tomorrow. No guarantee though. No guarantee, but it's underway. They have 100% changed labs programs to make the post taking aim, so it makes sense with the story. Also, besides super adapters and not just the bombs. Yeah, I mean, there's like some speculation going. Ooh, we're live, boys. There's some like speculation going on. I'll speculate on a few things in the video too, but you're 100% in line with like kind of what I'm thinking as well. You know what I mean? You're 100% in line with like kind of my thoughts. Yo, Richard82, man. Thanks for the follow, brother. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? All right. So before we get started, guys, I'm just gonna tell you guys right now. There might not be anything in this, but we're gonna watch it. I thought this got canceled. No, they just took it off their schedule. I don't know why. The Mega Hive is a single-player chain of 8 missions that test. Jesus Christ. All right. So here's what I'm thinking. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen probably. All right, I'm gonna guess this. Bam Bomberoo, who's that guy? All right, so here's what I'm gonna say. What's gonna happen? They're gonna address some shit. Oh, it's Layla on stream with them.
Hi everyone.
Oh.
How How is everyone
Is
doing?
your boy in the chat?
Hello.
Hi, we're live.
Wow, they have Layla on stream.
Can you hear us? I had a little bit of time setting this up. Sorry we're late.
Totally hear us.
I know, but just in case. Yes. All right, we are live. We're good. Good. Okay. Awesome.
Wait, who's my boy, Ollie?
Hey, buddy. Hey, Calix. All right. So before we...
I wonder if they're gonna like talk about like at like the community like the outrage, like the outrage or like the boiling over point that we've kind of hit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm in the French category.
Maybe not,
Honestly,
but
I was in the French.
we'll see.
You from the War Table videos.
No, I'm not. That's Megan.
We should do one with Layla though.
We should.
The catacombs where the missing content is
alright,
at.
Just in case you guys weren't there for our last stream. I know last stream Layla was only doing voice, but this is Layla, everyone. She's joining us for our streams. She's part of the community team.
Hello.
You probably
What's up,
do talk to her on our social channels, and she is...
See, this is what Andy was telling me he
bringing
wanted to
up
do. He
their-
wanted to bring
any
other
issues
people
and
onto the
bugs that you guys
streams.
bring up on our
So it's
channel,
nice to see him
make sure that
actually,
those get their correct eyes
you know,
on. So
that they're
everyone
actually
say
doing
hi
it.
to Layla. Hopefully you guys...
She sounds so annoyed. Well, here's the thing, man.
Saying hi.
Like, I understand. Like, some people are just like naturally comfortable on a camera, and some people aren't naturally comfortable on a camera, right? So like, and some people take time to warm up to it too, right? Like, it's not like some people just can't go on a camera and automatically be comfortable. Like, give her a few weeks, and I'm sure she'll be all right.
anyways, everyone.
I think like at least you said it from the jump. No, you're not wrong. I think everyone like okay, so a few days ago I told you guys not to expect anything from this stream, right? Like so my opinion has not changed from a few days ago. What I would like to see them do is kind of just like smooth over everything by at least saying like, hey guys, we understand like at this point there's stuff going on in the community. We understand everyone is kind of we understand everyone's kind of at this point and waiting for things. So you know, we're working our hardest to make sure that we get information to you as quick as possible, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like that's going to come up. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they're going to really talk about the community at large right now. Excuse me, which is like I think they probably should, but it is what it is. You know, I'm not a member of the community team, so.
Though it is a pretty active conversation. Endgame stuff like cloning labs and all that, we're still figuring out exactly when we can release it. It's still the same issue from last time. We're trying to knock down some bugs to make sure everything's clean, mostly because we've had people working on some of the upcoming content releases like Hawkeye and all that, so that took priority. But that's probably the next thing that's going to be coming out. After that, the rest of
He just killed my video.
a bunch of new stuff, which hopefully some of it we can talk about in the roadmap. And that's where we're at. I mean, we haven't been back from holidays for a long time. Like, it sounds like a long time because it's been like a month since last time. But the team took a break, so we're actually back at it now.
Which is fair.
I get it. Frustrating to not have more news. I understand. I would tell you guys something if there was something actually conclusive to say. We don't hold back information because we think it's funny or because we like doing it. Trust me.
Yeah, if we had the information or if we had something ready for you guys, then we would say it. It's just not at a place where we can right now. Phil, I invited you. How come you didn't join?
Interesting.
Okay,
So he just killed my cloning labs video. Okay, so if you guys weren't tuned into Miller's stream yesterday, credit to Miller for this one. So one of the things is obviously the Cloney Labs stuff is twofold, right? Obviously, Cloney Labs is twofold. So Cloney Labs itself, obviously, there's a bug in Cloney Labs, and Miller has talked about this bug that has like significantly delayed Cloney Labs as well as delayed some other stuff. And like they haven't really thrown the bodies at this bug because they've been so focused on getting new content out in terms of like the characters and the stories and all that sort of stuff, right? So who actually knows when we'll get that stuff? It could be a while, could be sooner than later. But he just killed my video.
Join us.
So I mean, like, it's tough, man. It's tough. Like, in a way they're right. Like if they had stuff to talk about, they would talk about stuff, but there's a lot of this stuff that is just like their hands are tied. I would have liked this. Like they did kind of come out and say like, you know, if we could, we could. But they definitely, you know, I think they know like the heat's turning up on them from the community, right? Oh, this might be a good question. Hold on. Any plans on evolving the level design, increasing the verticality, level ceiling, sense of scale, more dynamic platforming, more complex puzzles? Ooh, that's a great question. That's a great question. So yeah, this game needs some Infinity Stones.
Prime time, we'll get you.
There's like stuff like that the game needs, obviously, right? But I think it's a matter of like how many bodies can you realistically throw at these problems, and like I've said this pretty publicly too. I said like if you're Square and you see like a development studio is having issues developing like a big IP game, you know, how many bodies do you throw at this, or do you throw none of them, like no more bodies at it, right? Like Square does have studios that realistically maybe could help out, right? Like Crystal is 2 studios, right? You have your main one in California, then you have one in Washington, Oregon, something like that. But like, you know, how many bodies do you realistically throw to right the ship, you know? So I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's not always up to us. There's a lot of people that work on this game and a lot of different teams coming together to do it. So I don't know where I'm going because I'm still trying to invite people.
It is like a somber mood though.
But
Like
talking, guys.
it is a very somber mood.
Thanks, Lightning. Hi to you too.
It's a very somber mood in the chat. I do feel, unfortunately, these are like the people that get thrown to the wolves kind of thing, and it does suck. I want to know about the specific bug. Okay, so the bug that Miller alluded to when it came to Cloney Labs is a network bug. So obviously, if you want more in-depth information, go to Miller. But what he alluded to was that there's a networking bug that apparently what happens is the longer you play like a network, like in a network environment. So for example, you know, Cloney Labs is a long mission. Apparently, after so long, it like unravels itself. So that's what he alluded to. I guess he saw that in the files, but that's something he would have to go into more specifics on. So, okay, so here we go. New Game Plus is in QA at the moment. All right, so there you go. New Game Plus is in QA, so that means New Game Plus is going through testing. So there you go. So for anyone who might be interested in New Game Plus, it's on its way.
Like a weird party together.
No matter how much I joke and say I hate what's happening, I'm going to feel bad for these devs. Oh yeah, I mean like you can hate what's happening, right? Obviously the game has the ball dropped, and you can still understand like at the end of the day, these are like people trying to do their best with like circumstances that, you know, these 3 individuals are like it's out of their control. You know what I mean? And like you could still feel bad for these people, you know. Bet this specific bug will still be present. Well, I guess that's what they're trying to nail down, right? I guess that's why, like in some circumstances, that's why also, like the multiplayer Mega Hive hasn't come out yet, right? If it's a networking bug, then anything that's like a super long mission, they'll have to try and nail it down before they release this content. And Phil alluded to a bug still being present. That's why they haven't been able to fix it yet, or release it yet. Sorry. So I think that lines up pretty well with it being a network bug. To some extent, probably something going on with the servers. Yeah, more than likely. It's probably something to do with their networking, like their networking side of the game. Which, I mean, to be fair, hasn't been the most stable at all, right? If you guys remember, it was like 4 weeks before like matchmaking worked. 3 weeks. Uh-oh.
You mean the floors or?
Got the coppers.
Floors my favorite event.
It'll still be present when they release it in 20. No, man, it won't. It won't. Because here's the thing: they're gonna have to nail that bug down, and I imagine when they go through the testing phase. Oh, here we go. Would love to give dates for all kind of things, but unfortunately, both the dates themselves, whether or not we can message that out, is not up to us. There you go. So There you go. Kind of an indication that Square, not letting them talk about things right now. That to me is like the biggest indication that it's Square. So right there. So no, because like here's the thing, like this bug will have to be solved when they're like working on the Wakanda raid, right? The Wakanda raid is going to be like a mainstay of that DLC, and if this bug is still present, they can't release the raid. So this will get fixed before Black Panther releases. It's going to have to. If they release Black Panther without the raid either alongside it, so I mean like day 1, or like how most games do it, they release their DLC, then a week later there's the raid, right? To give you guys time to get your gear, level up, so on and so forth. If they do that, then the game's fucked. So this will have to be solved before Wakanda comes out. That's one of the things that would really be beneficial to be able to work on in an actual game development workspace. Yeah, I mean, like, the networking side is, like, super tough anyways, right? Like, if I'm correct, too, I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but I don't think Crystal Dynamics has ever really worked on a game with networking, aside from, like, very basic shit, right? Excuse me. Games develop. Crystal Dynamics. Yeah, so, I mean... Tomb Raider. Yeah, so they probably are like still trying to fucking figure it out. I mean, obviously it's not like it's not, I'm not trying to excuse it, but
right. That took a while.
But I imagine for them it's like a fucking learning curve as well, you know what I mean? And if it's something that's present after so long, like they're trying to figure out like what the fuck's going on. Like if it's like it works, and then you're in this mission for so long and it drops, they're probably trying to figure out what the fuck is causing it to drop,
Layla, people want to know what your favorite.
So sidestepping content answers is making you guys look nervous. I have a lot of hope for this IP, yet if you play daily like some of us, it gets scary into Anthem level worry. I'm about to open up a GoFundMe page for this game at this rate since Square ain't doing much to help. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. If Square is like holding them... So here's the thing. Like a lot of the development focus is like the development stuff is on Crystal, right? Like anything development stuff is on Crystal. So like when you look at like bugs and stuff like that, that does rest solely on Crystal, right? But in terms of like the communication side, right? Like not letting them talk, not letting them give dates, not letting them show this, show that, that is on Square as well, right? So it's like two different issues, but two different people or two different entities that are at fault. Exactly, right? So it's not really just 1,000 minuscule bugs, but just one extremely game-breaking bug that gives me some hope, actually. So in terms of that, I can only speculate based on what Miller said last night. I figured it would be like a bunch of little bugs that was, compounding on top of each other. But the way Miller said it, so you'd have to ask him when he goes live later, if it's on multiplayer, like one big multiplayer bug, which it sounded like he was speculating to, or if it's a bunch of little multiplayer bugs that over time build up on each other, and then at some point it just fucking snaps. But it does, based on what he said, it is a multiplayer networking bug that is affecting the cloning labs and the multiplayer Mega Hive.
That content's gonna come out, so they're tied together. He's asking about the crashes in multiplayer.
Yep, that is actually, exactly what Phil said.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Is this a dev stream? Yeah, it's a dev stream.
Yes.
Wait, you can still hear me?
We're just
Yes.
Oh my
we're
God.
just kind of picking it apart. Not really picking it apart, but just kind of commenting on what they're talking about. And just kind of going over. It's a very somber stream. Like usually Andy and Phil can kind of have an upbeat attitude. It's a very somber stream. In comparison, it's interesting.
That it's more exciting when you get those pieces.
Can't pick apart what already broken. Okay, okay. Let's not try and be super down today.
Designers that are working on the gear rework are taking that into account. They're also adding more functionality to gear.
Oh.
They're adding more features for quality of life so that you can do a lot of what you guys have
Okay.
asking for. So I get that it's a little bit vague, but I can tell you that what I've seen so far is really, really exciting. It's going to be cool. It's going to take a little while before that stuff is ready, but I think it's going to make it.
Which I said it's going to be the back half of 2021, so it looks like I'm on track to be right again. Ha, suckers. Godera, what's up, man? Dev Street seems so awkward. I think it's more awkward because, like, here's the thing. So they've already commented in the chat, which I think it's Layla on the chat, they've already said like there's a lot that they can't talk about because they're just not allowed to. So essentially, like they're coming on stream.
Playing
They're coming on stream knowing that the community is like fucking ready to rip them, but they can't talk about anything. Yeah.
Yes, there are new villains that are getting added.
yes. They're
Some of the new
definitely-
content is going to have some new villains. Actually, you won't have to wait too long for new villains. That's actually one of the things that's coming up pretty soon.
How soon? How soon? How soon? Did they say when a new update will be deployed?
Next
No.
update is also
Oh.
coming. Yes, it's still planned for early.
Early? Early what, Phil? Early?
I'm not sure what guac and chips is all about, but it is. delicious.
They did say right now, New Game Plus is in QA. So I would imagine.
We might take a little break on Archers after those two.
So I don't think we get a patch next week, but it probably sounds like 2 to 3 weeks we'll get a patch.
Risk something. I'm sorry, I can't say your name, but MCU skins is something that we've talked about. It's strongly being looked into.
I wonder if there's licensing.
That's as much as I'll say.
I wonder if there's licensing stuff they have to go through for the MCU skins. That's interesting. I wonder if like what. No, well, I don't know. Interesting.
My friend.
Oh, it's
I think they have issues with their art team. If it's something they're, it's really interesting, like the wording of it. I could be like 3 steps looking into this way too far, but like if it says something like they're looking into it, to me this sounds a licensing issue. But you could totally be right that it is their art team. But when I'm hearing like we're looking into it, it's like I don't think like you've seen some of their good skins, right? Like it doesn't seem like they have issues with their good skins. It seems like they have issue with the direction of their skins, right? Some of the skins are really good, some of them are really bad. But when I hear looking into it, to me that sounds like licensing issues, with like the MCU, the movie stuff, which is interesting. But I could also be looking into it.
We're getting into the map right now. That's it. I restarted my game.
They might be looking for new people. I mean, let's look at their job posting. Crystal Dynamics.
You might
Let me see.
start maps with just like
Let's
3
see.
people and see what happens from there.
Do careers.
And then we'll go from there. We're still in
Available job: art, project lead artist, lead environment artist, senior environment artist, lighting artist, senior technical artist. I mean, it's a few jobs.
Look into it. I'm sure
Design, lead combat designer, economy designer,
Oh, no, you
gameplay
can't
camera
do that
designer,
in that one.
narrative director, systems designer,
What is it?
engineering. I mean, these seem like standard jobs that like,
Doesn't have here.
you know.
Layla's got it.
Fix this thing more.
And you said they're hiring? Yeah, they're hiring. I mean, every like
We're playing.
They're
on
hiring.
PS4, PS5.
Well, you're the fancy one for PS5.
if they have issues with their art team and need new people, I'll gladly take some spot. I'm an artist and make tons of fan art on my own.
Wall grab was a nerf.
Right there, buddy. Right there, dude. They need to fix King Hulk skin. They do need to fix King Hulk skin. I do. I do agree.
You're having a lot of problems with that.
Actually, never mind. I don't think I want anything to do with Square. I mean, you get to live in Redwood, California, though. It's pretty dope. I like LeBron Hairhawk.
Batman, I saw your suggestion. It's really cool. Maybe is the best answer I can give you. I like the idea. How about having a criminal lockup for captured villains?
Ooh. It's very Marvel. Love it.
Lightning, it's not just a possibility. We are adding new environments and new stuff. I know you're all tired of the same indoor rooms. I am too.
Would you work for them? Would I work
It
for...
just takes a while to build it.
Would I work for who? Square or Crystal? Depends. Here's the thing, man. It's always so. Here's the thing with any job in the world. I think it's like outside looking in, right? On the outside, I look at like stuff like this. I'm like, oh, I could easily handle this, right? But like until you get to the inside, you deal with the bureaucracy of it all. It's one of those things where you just don't know until like your foot's in the door and you get like an idea of like what they go through on a daily basis. I mean, I'd have to like. In all honesty, before I would ever comment on that, I'd have to have like a very sobering conversation with someone on the inside to get an idea of like the day-to-day issues with like the operations, you know, what's their work from home like? You know, is there issues with communication in their work from home? What's it like dealing with Square? Is Square really like clamping down on them? Which, you know, in terms of their communication, it really does seem like Square's clamping down on them. Before I would say yes. I mean, I would love to work on this game. I mean, I would like to think I could do a good job and be a productive person, but without knowing like all this stuff going on, hard to say.
Gigabyte upload before, I can tell you that running video and audio streams on top of the game doesn't work so great.
Finally got to work, yes. I think they need to update the engine just like Fortnite back in the day, so that they can make all sorts of outfits. I don't think the engine seems to be an issue. I think it's tough to say without really knowing. I'd really have to find like a game developer and really like pull them on, which I mean I don't think is an issue. I'm sure I could find one. To really get an inside scoop of like how game engines could affect certain bugs, and like, you know, an inside look at like game engines and outfits and stuff like that. It just seems like there's just issues that, you know, through whatever reason, whether it's QA is not all the way through or the QA stuff isn't being squashed when it's being reported. It just seems like some of this stuff is like squeaking through super cleanly, and when it shouldn't be, you know. I'll definitely QA test. QA. I don't know what this means. Or you can do general applications. Think I'd rather work with small indie studios. I mean, you do get a little more freedom with small indie studios, for sure.
Germany.
The issues with hair is just so dumb to have as a problem. I agree. And that should be something like you put a skin, you put it into the game, you mesh it, you put your fucking shit over it, whatever, and you should be able to see right away, is this an issue, right? It's not something that you have to, you know, repeat on a certain amount of times. You know, like some bugs you have to do a certain amount of things over and over to like fully address like what causes it. But it like, you know, a skin is like you just put it in there, you check it. Oh, the hair? Well, pull it. Say, sorry guys, we had a new skin planned. Unfortunately, we caught an issue. It'll be in the game soon enough, right? They say anything bigger? No, not really. No. $40 for a skin with bug features? Yeah. I mean, the skin stuff should be pretty easy to, and I say this as an outsider looking in, but the skin stuff should be pretty simple to like look at, identify, be like, oh shit, pull it. But they also may at some point just say, the pull it is like, you know, they may just view it as like, if we pull it, this happens. If we don't pull it, this happens. What's like the best outcome for us? They probably just say, fuck it, leave it in, we'll patch it out, right? So I don't know, but no, they haven't really said anything big yet. Caged. I mean, they've kind of talked about, you know, new villains are coming soon. They've talked about they can't really say anything because of Square. They've alluded to the bug with Cloning Labs. There hasn't really been a lot said this far.
Costumes, but I don't have a lot to do with costumes, so I'm sure they've seen the suggestions though. I'll ask.
The dev's so weak they need a new dev team. Unfortunately, man, there's no one under the Square Enix umbrella that could handle this game. It's either you throw sister studios or like you throw like studios under the umbrella to help right the ship. But in terms of like what's under Square right now, other than Eidos, which are working on a Marvel game themselves and which already did help with development of this game, Square actually doesn't have anyone that can handle it like a game like this. And so unfortunately it's like you got what you got, you know. I've never played a live service game that stole faulty skins in all my years playing games as a service, to be honest. I mean, yeah, skin glitches are very rare, you know what I mean? Like it's been a long time since I've played a game, maybe like very early Fortnite that I've seen like skin glitches, you know what I mean? Only way I would pay the $14 is if it's, like I said, a new character skin, which I mean, maybe they do at some point. You know what I mean? You know, maybe you get like a Miles skin for Peter, you know, instead of like, but maybe not too. I think they might try to stay away from that, but it's always possible. Who knows?
So if you completed that, you should have it. If you don't have it and you completed that mission chain, then that's a bug, and please let us know about it so we can fix it.
Nice. See, Layla's on it, you guys. Real
Yeah.
time, real time.
This
You know,
chef
I
stream
said
is
that
hard
we
to
were gonna
watch. Not
try
gonna
30
lie.
people.
I mean, it depends like what you're coming in for, right? Like, if you totally expected like all this crazy news, I mean, you shouldn't have, right? I've been saying for a long time this stream wasn't gonna have any news, but I thought they would at least like try to smooth things over. You know what I mean?
We'll get a game going, guys. I swear it.
It's definitely hard to watch though because of like Andy's internet, right? Like, and here's a sobering thought too. My man can't even stream and play video games, something I do very easily, right? Think about like any of these other guys who probably live at home and are trying to like upload builds to like their servers. Fortnite gave you an entire Avengers team for $10. This season's battle pass is Mandalorian the Predator. I mean, and you're not wrong, but you're also looking at like two different scales, right? You're looking at an Epic team which has been nailing everything for years this far, and for Epic it's like clockwork right now, right? The scale of Epic is like dwarfing Crystal Dynamics. The experience of Epic dwarfs Crystal Dynamics. You know what I mean? Like, and Epic is just monumentally better at like what they do, right? It is what it is, right? Epic is a very great studio who can hit things, do things. You know what I mean? I mean, unfortunately. State of Decay 2 devs prepare me for some of the dev streams like this. Yeah, just not the no news, but the obvious doom and gloom and doom in the face, which is what I was saying earlier in the week. You know what I mean? Like earlier in the week, I said like this is going to be a very awkward stream. Like these guys are getting like it's letting the wolves in the henhouse, so to speak. The streams are just ask questions, say soon, and some jokes. Well, I mean, like that's really what dev streams are, right? Like if you really expected anything different, I mean that's on you. You know what I mean? Chris and I said amazing Tomb Raider outfits and DLC. Fair, fair. Which means like somehow along the way, like something's fucked up in their production pipeline, right? I can see why Deej left Bungie now. He likely got sick of being the martyr for this community, same as these. And like that's the thing, man. Community managers are literally just there to get shit on. Like if you think about it, community managers are literally just there to get shit on. Which is why I've always said like, don't give shit to Andy, don't give shit to Layla, and even though like Phil is like the Warzone director, you know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, like their hands are pretty much tied by Square when it comes to the communication aspect. Mortal Kombat dev streams are way better. Fair. I've never watched the NetherRealm streams. I didn't expect anything different. I'm just saying, but I'm still open for something interesting. Fair. Yeah, it's fair. Even Monster Hunter dev streams is so awkward yet funny. I mean, I guess it depends on like the mood too, right? Like for everything that like you guys feel right about the game, you know, everyone's disappointed, everyone wants something this, they want something that, right? Like everyone, all you guys, your feelings, like for the most part, you guys are very respectful of like how you guys feel, right? Like I've not seen any of you guys go after them. Like, and if you guys are like saying stuff, it's like I'm so disappointed, this sucks, yada yada. Now think about like that feeling, and then you multiply it by like, you know, how many people are watching? 600, right? And then you take some of these people that are watching, and then you take it up the next step, right? And they're just flying the shit at them, right? At some point, it's gonna actually affect their psyche a little bit, where they come on, and they don't necessarily want to be there because they're just gonna get shit on. You know what I mean? I wonder why Square is so afraid to let them speak. I don't know. This game just has too many skeletons in the closet. In a way, in a way. Oh, is it Square or Marvel or Disney behind the scenes? It could be like a little bit of Square and Marvel. You know what I mean? It totally depends on like I would say like Marvel is probably micromanaging a little bit. But I would say in the communication aspect, it might be Square. It might be Square.
Bench stream, yeah, I know, right? Feels like that's been a long time.
But without totally knowing,
Maybe
you know what I
should
mean?
try Phil's internet again.
My PSN is let's see what is it on this one. Hold on.
But I can only take what they say at face value, right? When Layla types in chat saying we want to talk but we can't, you know, the information that we have or the dates that we have we can't talk about or whatever the fuck she said. I mean, that to me sounds like it's someone above, whether it's Square or Marvel, that says like you can't talk about this yet.
Dark Avengers revenge stream. That's a lot of darkness all at once.
People are still talking about your revenge stream sometimes.
How Clint plays or any other hero stuff, just because that's not something we're ready to talk about. But soon, I mean, as soon as the information is available, like I said earlier in the stream, like the big thing going on internally right now is just nailing the dates for everything so that we can communicate the roadmap.
Oh, and who was right on that one? What did I say a few weeks ago or a few days ago? I said that the dates internally are still shifting, which means that the dates internally are still shifting. They don't want to talk about anything publicly. Oh, God, it feels so good. I hope the Suicide Squad game team is taking notes in this game so they don't make the same ridiculous mistakes being made here. I mean, I would hope so. I would hope so. It seems like some live service games get it right and some don't. But I think there's lessons to be learned from all of them, right? If you look at the the Destiny community, I would say like the Destiny community right now is also having issues. If you go to Glad's Twitter, if you're familiar with Glad, it seems like the Destiny community is kind of up in arms right now as well. Because it's possible that this game was made from the beginning with the thought of live service multiplayer and endgame. I refuse to believe it. Yeah. We don't need dates, but a timeline. I think you're right, but there are definitely people who like, so if you look for example, let me pull up Paint. Okay, so all right, so this is launch. Okay, don't mind this, guys. Don't mind this, okay? And this is 2021. Okay. So if you guys remember, it was launch, and so this is for Cloning Labs, right? So I'm gonna give you guys my Cloning Lab timeline here, and this is exactly why they can't give timelines, right? So in October they had said, so Scott had said, in the Q&A video that it was gonna be You know what? Should I just pull up the fucking video itself? Hold on. I'll just pull up the video itself. One second. They kind of killed this video, so or filled it today. So okay, hold on. So this is why they won't give a timeline, because I don't even think they can hold a timeline to a degree. All right. Where is the video? Okay. Here it is. Okay. Oh my god, this is so low. How the fuck do you hear this? All right.
Awesome. Next question
There we
is
go.
from Gamer Uncle. Are we going to get more story-driven content for each character?
Yes. Okay, that's probably not enough of an answer, right? that's probably too small. So I will put it a couple different ways. So first off, you're actually getting some new story content right
Just
now,
wait,
and
just
I
wait.
know it's still early days, and it's probably just not quite visible yet, but those tachyon rifts that will lead to the cloning lab and Substation Zero, and then going to the first operation with Kate.
Okay, so this is exactly why they don't want to give timelines either. Because like right now, Cloning Labs was supposed to come in the middle of Cloning Labs was supposed to lead up to stuff, and if they can't even nail and because of the bug that they've because of the bug that they've identified with Cloning Labs that's pushed it back this far, to even give a timeline right now, is could be very detrimental to the rest of their communication. You know. Soon, oh yes, my Bungie PTSD is hitting hard as fuck right now. I need some ibuprofen real quick. They can always update the timeline. I agree, but
I don't want to forget that. So
so Gadara, I agree with you, right? A timeline that they can continuously update, like a living document that's a living timeline, I always say is good. But the problem is like the optics of like always updating your timeline. Like imagine every month something gets shifted. You know what I mean? And if it gets shifted backwards, right? It gets, say for example, they put out a document 2 weeks from now, right? They go, hey guys, coming up in February, we're gonna give you a roadmap, blah blah blah, and then you have your next 6 months. Now, if things start getting shifted further and further, even though they're continuously updating that, the optics of that looks really fucking bad. You know what I mean? Because then the conversation comes to, oh, you guys can't hit your dates. Well, what the fuck, guys? So instead, they're trying to make sure that they can nail these dates internally. So then they don't necessarily have to update. It's an optics game at that point. It's literally an optics game. What is better for them from a like a PR standpoint? And I know for me, I would rather just kind of know when things are coming, even if things get pushed back. I agree with you guys, but from an optics game, they don't want to look like they can't hit the dates that they're setting out to because they've already missed some dates. If they hadn't missed dates already, so Colony Labs was out, multiplayer Mega Hive was out, Kate came out when Kate was supposed to, never got delayed. The first Omega level threat came out. I would imagine that there's not this like feeling of like, oh fuck, we can't hit our dates. We can, they would hit everything. They would put the roadmap out, and then even then, there's some goodwill that the community gives them. But because they've already missed all these dates, for them, the optics of putting out a roadmap, even if they got to shift some things, is like really fucking bad. So in essence, they're just trying to save their own ass right now. So it's totally the optics. So like, we may want a document that's a living document that they update, but for them, they don't want that.
High priority for the team.
Would it really make a difference? Yes, it would. They can't hit them. Yeah, well, so why would you want a document? So okay, so here's the thing. Don't think of it from your perspective. Think of it from their perspective. Why would they want to put out a document if they know they can't hit the dates, and all they're doing is just asking for the community to get even more mad? You know what I mean? And that's the issue.
I'm trying.
But trust me, I'm with you guys. I'm totally with you guys. If they give a living document, I would love to see a living document that does continually get updated. I would love to see it. Just from an optics standpoint, they're like, fuck that. And it's really like, it's such a tricky situation. It's really such a tricky situation, man.
Spider-Man and PS5 is something we're going to communicate on in the near future. But it's still coming.
So if I remember correctly, there was something about next gen was supposed to drop in February from like a retailer. Whether or not that's true or not remains to be seen, but we'll see. Some people were like, work on Avengers 2 already, forget about this. Then some dude said something back to him, it's bad when I'm more intrigued by the guys arguing.
Cooper, you asked about how you feel about the emote wheel concept. We've seen that, and it's something I forwarded to the team, and they liked it. They thought it was pretty cool. It's something they want to work on, but there are like other priorities with new content and other kind of bug fixes that they have to get to first. So it's a liked thing internally. Hope that answers your question.
Some people like work on Avengers 2 already. Yeah. No, I mean, they're not going to work on Avengers 2 already. Here's the thing. So consumer confidence in two things are down right now, right? Consumer confidence in Crystal Dynamics as a developer is down, and consumer confidence in Square Enix is down right now. The best thing that they can do is right the ship and to make sure that this game actually has some legs under it, right? If they were, for example, to like just abandon the game and say, fuck you guys, we're done, no one's going to buy an Avengers 2, right? Excuse me, some people are going to avoid Square Enix as a publisher as a whole because of that, right? So it's literally in everyone's best interest, Marvel games, for their IP, for Crystal to be a developer, to not get downsized, to not, be fucking dissolved or whatever. For all these guys still working, it's in their best interest for Square to continuously update and publish and put out new games, whether that's the Guardians of the Galaxy game or other games that they're under their umbrella. It's in everyone's best interest to actually fix the game and not just say, fuck you guys, we're leaving, right? Gamers don't really have bad memories. You know what I mean? Gamers remember almost anything, right? So like the moment any sort of fucking Avengers 2 got announced, people would rip it to shreds because of like first of all, the issues with this game, and then two, the abandonment of this game. It's in everybody's best interest to fix the game.
Okay, so
Square Enix is busy releasing other games. Avengers isn't their primary attention.
yeah, we just have to have someone else.
Okay, so like yes and no. So yes, because like this is still a big title for them, right? Everybody touts like the money lost or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can't have it both ways. You can't say like the money lost is like a big thing for Square, and then some people then turn around and say, not you specifically, Gadara. I'm not picking on you, But then some people will say like, oh, it's not like a, it's not a big thing or whatever. It is still a big thing that they do have to address and fix and right the ship. But this still is a big IP. This still is a big game in terms of the money that has gone into it. This still is a big developer with like 400 employees that are developing it. Like, there's so many things that have compounded this issue that it is in their best interest to fix the game, which makes the devs work harder. I don't think that had anything to do with it. But like, there's only so many games. So, and like I said, gamers have good memories, man. Gamers have great memories. Like, what they do with Avengers will trickle up to Square Enix in their other games. It will. Like, people may, like, I'm not saying it's going to be a huge portion of people, but like what they do with Avengers may also affect what they do with other games. Now, obviously, Final Fantasy is totally different. Final Fantasy is its own fucking breed. I don't think whatever they fucking do will affect the Final Fantasy crowd. But if they bring out like new IPs or like different kind of looters or RPGs, like, if a game has a rocky start, people are gonna be like, remember what they did with Avengers, But on the flip side, if they commit to fixing it, Square commits to making sure the game is as good as possible, then the conversation is like, Square put the resources in, they gave Crystal all the time to fix it. If this game turns out to be not the greatest or whatever, you can have faith that Square is going to do their best to help get the game out. Destiny and every other shooter is struggling at the moment. No new games struggling at the moment. No new games at the moment. Everton is good, 100% make profit, but they're just worried about pre-orders. Sure, I mean, it was interesting to see. Hold on, it was interesting to see Glad's his tweet the other day. Where is it? Hold on, this motherfucker tweets a lot. So, so here's a good tweet by him. Too long to read. The direction that Bungie seems to be taking with the game doesn't always align with the direction that we want the game to go. It's causing franchise fatigue and burnout. And then he had another tweet about fucking loot. Where is it? There was something he tweeted about loot too, and I was like, fuck, I guess everyone's feeling the loot problem. But in essence, he was talking about like, at the end of the day, they just want loot that's fun to use and fun to play. I was like, huh, I feel that, Glad. I feel that. Also, it was a wake-up call for the mindless shows. You call it the best game before it comes out. Yeah, I mean, it's just like what I've been saying, right? It's okay to really like a game. It's okay to like a game and criticize it fairly, right? You could say like, oh, this game is great. I love it. I play it every day. But here's some things I want to change about the game, or here's some things I don't like about the game, right? In the same way, it's like, I really don't like this game, but here's some things I do like about it, right? You can dislike the overall product, but like a few features. You can overall like the product, but dislike a few features. Like, these things aren't mutually exclusive at this point. But when people are just like totally bashing on it all the time, or when people are mindlessly defending it and not taking that criticism to heart, that's when you don't have that open, honest dialogue that needs to happen for the game to get better, right?
Put it out.
Oh yeah, there's no bargaining. You just kicked me out of the group and went and done your own thing.
I know, which didn't even matter.
Okay, I just started my own revenge. I have a huge forehead, apparently. Well, thank you.
That means you're smart.
Yeah,
Why does he read that, bro?
Thanks for the compliment, man.
Oh, someone commented in Japanese.
Oh, what does it say?
I can read that. I'm
What they
half
say about
Japanese.
big
by the way.
foreheads and big hats?
It says, 私の好きなキャラクターであるスパイダーマンを教えてください.
Jon Snow makes me think about life when I see him one shot. Yeah. I mean, like, Flavius has just put out a video where he's like doing like 2 shots with Widow. Lejeune can do like some crazy shit, man. These I mean, like, I play the game, but like, I don't play the game the same way these guys do, man. They're nuts. One shot at a boss, so much fun, right? I mean, in a way, it is a good gauge of like the power scaling. So like, obviously, in a lot of ways, one shotting a boss is like a way to scale. In terms of like actually playing the game, I've always said bosses need mechanics and not just be bullet sponges. It's like one of the criticisms I had with The Division back in the day. But yeah, I mean, hopefully as like they create like Omega level threats and they bring out Colony Labs and raids and whatever else, we do start seeing mechanics, because like, at some point, like, one shot on a boss is like whatever, but obviously for me personally, I want to see I want to see like mechanics in play. Yeah. I'm gonna need more content before I ever try that hard. It's just something how trash these boss fights are to be honest. I mean, like, unfortunately, is like part of like they went to the Division route, right? Or even like early Destiny route, you know, where it's like these are just sponges for your damage.
Anyone really wants to flex any polyglots?
Yeah, or you know, I wish I was polyglot, but I'm not.
I just wanted like
That's
one
okay,
pure
you bro.
supporter, so I don't have
I'll
to see
never
him one
forgive
shot
you.
for once. It makes me cry. Wait, what do you
Cool.
mean one pure supporter? Like a hero that heals in his low ass attack. I mean, that's an interesting thing. I thought about that too. I've wondered like if they go like the Holy Trinity, like how that plays into like their current game design, right? I don't know if like their game is like built for like to hold the Holy Trinity, because like the Holy Trinity, like you really have to build encounters for it, right? Right now, like the boss encounters aren't really built for the Holy Trinity, but if they start going for like encounters that there's some crowd control, there's some taunts, there's some tanking damage, there's some mechanics at play here. Like if there's more stuff that really implies like this teamwork focus that it seemingly they want to try to do, then maybe they introduce like a character that is just focused on healing. Or specs that are focused on healing, or specs that are focused on tanking more than damage, right? And then you got to build your itemization around those things, right? So you can't just build a character and not build the itemization around these specs. But I've always wondered, like, what if, I've always wondered, what if? It's one of the things I would like to see them kind of tackle, but it totally depends on if that's in, like, their plans for, like, the game's future. Because like right now, everyone is just focused on high damage, right? Everyone runs a glass cannon build for the most part. Like very rarely do you see anyone with any sort of like damage mitigation or anything like that. Everyone just wants to focus on high damage because like at this point, it's much easier to clap a boss in 2 seconds than to build any sort of damage mitigation or defense or whatever the fuck it is, and maybe and maybe get hit. You know what I mean?
Out with it.
Honestly, the Abomination fight being a bullet sponge
Uh-oh.
does not bother me because he's a
Uh-oh.
brute. Taskmaster, on the other hand,
Phil's joining.
should have been a more intricate boss fight considering his skills. I agree. That's a good point. It's a good point. Excuse me. Because Widow's range, Kate is really good at melee, even though it should be better at range. Thor is a hybrid, and Hulk is pure tank attack. Miss Marvel, I don't know because I don't see a lot of people use her. Sure. But at the end of the day, all you want to do is build damage, right? You're just building a different kind of damage. But at the end of the day, all you're doing is building damage. It's useless to build defense for bosses because they're just bullet sponges and no phases where you can't damage. But you gotta, and that's the point. That's the greatest point. Like you gotta build. It's like to change everything around like that. You gotta change your encounters. Then you gotta change your encounters, which could change your characters, which then could change your itemization. But you need all three of those together to really kind of hone in on changing the way your game plays. You can't just change one because then it's out of place with the rest. Then nothing's really synergized together. So you do have to change all of it together, or none of it works. Before that happens, we need loadouts so we can just base on content.
Screen.
And that's a great point too. Loadouts could definitely also loadouts, and one of the things that I feel like need to be more in play is, I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, but sometimes it doesn't feel like the modifiers are really in play. The modifiers are there, but they don't make enough of an impact, I feel like, to really affect the way the game's played. I think modifiers are one of the things that are a good idea in theory, but the implementation of them has been pretty weak this far. Never know, could change within a few years if it lasts that long, which I think it will. I mean, ideally, exactly. You changes right now wouldn't be as beneficial. It could be they would direct more towards content and different encounter. Yeah, of course. It all has to be synergized together. I honestly never noticed modifiers. Well, yeah, and that's the problem too, right? That's the problem too.
Let me just get my
Honestly,
ready.
also don't like how there's modifiers. Don't like how there's modifiers to give us advantages. I don't know if I necessarily mind that. I don't know if I mind modifiers to give us advantages, but I think modifiers that give us advantages should impact what advantages it give us, and then that impacts how we play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, if modifiers just give us a blanket advantage, yeah, probably don't agree with that. If modifiers give an advantage to a certain way to play the encounter or play the mission, that really forces you to think about the way you're playing it. I mean, that's an interesting theory, and it wouldn't be something I would be against. But like blanket advantages, yeah, I mean,
Okay, there we go. I'm trying.
I just don't know what
getting
heroes
rid
would be
of
strictly
Phil's
defense and
camera,
support.
but,
That's a good point. It's a good
Okay,
point.
now you guys are stuck with us, the part of the community.
I can't really say how truly good my builds are because player modifiers are at play giving me bonuses. I mean, that's a point too. That's why I suggested that they use the harm room as like a training dummy. I don't know for anyone who's familiar with Marvel Heroes, but Marvel Heroes had like a training thing within like the fucking social space or whatever, and you could just basically go and you can just test out your builds and you can find out like how good your build is and the damage you're doing. And basically you just kind of timed it, and like the time you go and you complete this is like how good your build is, right? This is something that they should look to implement for like those scenarios. You know what I mean?
Come on now. Okay, so I'm in a group with
Looking good.
Wonderman is literally the
Stardust.
only character I can
Thank
see with
you.
only defense. It's an interesting one. Warframe is a training space to test your build. Yeah, I think in terms of games like these, like a training space or a test dummy is like something that is strictly needed. You know what I mean? All right, give me one sec, guys. I'll be right back. I'm gonna
Yep.
play this stream for you guys. The only modifiers I notice are the ones that increase enemy damage from melee range. I know what to avoid more. For example, ice adaptoid stats can one-shot you with that modifier. Even with a good build, same with the PC heroes, but it's opposite with range, but also homing rocket. Everything else is a noticeable. That's a good point. That's a good point. So yeah, I mean, like, there's some things that I would like to see from the game changed, but obviously, I think like the immediate concern for things the game needs right now is like content. You know, content and repeatable content, and then once you get that, then you can start making all the tweaks and changes. But that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm happy you made it out of the bug phase. Accounts for certain all types of bug. Now we can get past this content thing. Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate thing is like, it seems like their keyway process was really impacted, but like they still had a hard date given by Square to get the game out, right? Which sucks. It sucks. Which definitely meant they got started like fucking 4 paces behind everybody else. But I mean, such is life, I guess, right? So we'll have to wait and see, what the next few months brings.
I literally just asked about, an update for the roadmap just this week.
Oh.
And because I know it's important to you guys and it's important to us too. So we're totally on your side, and we understand any frustrations of lack of information, but it is coming. I swear it.
Stuff.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can say that.
I say it all the time.
Okay. Well, we wish we could say stuff. Like actually, it's just
It's not always up to us.
it's- I think it's like almost for a lot of things. It's like not up to us in general.
Yup.
There's like a lot of approvals and stuff.
Yup. By the way, I apologize for earlier if I seem like an asshole with the dev stream. I've been through a simulator so many times with the games. My patience is pretty worn thin. Sorry about earlier. Bro, you're good, man. You're good. Trust me, bro. I understand. Listen, I don't mind the frustration, but you know what I mean? Because I'm frustrated too. Like, I regardless of how you feel about my outlook on like a lot of this situation, and sometimes I feel, sometimes I personally feel like, I come off as like trying to like make excuses or justify or whatever. But like at the end of the day, like there is like so much at play here behind the scenes that we just don't know about. That it does suck on like so many different levels for so many different people. Of course, I'm frustrated. You guys are frustrated. They're frustrated. But I understand that, like, at some point this frustration does boil over, which is why I let you guys vent about it, right? Because at this point, like, you guys are gonna have to vent about it, right? Because it just is a normal thing, right? I vent about it privately. Wait, what the fuck did Layla say? What do you mean?
It is a little more difficult that we can't do it in this studio. We can't just like walk up to someone's desk and just ambush them. This is all over Slack and all over just messaging and even texting sometimes. But we are still doing it. And once we are back in the studio, whenever that is, it's gonna be so much easier to get answers, so much easier to plan things, and so much easier to develop a game just flat out.
So, I mean, like, everyone's frustrated, man. So, like, I don't mind you guys being frustrated in here, as long as everyone just understands, like, it's just a basic level of respect, man. But other than that, like, if you guys are frustrated, I get it. I'm frustrated, too.
It sucks overall, but please.
At the end of the day, man, like, at the end of the day,
I'm accepting friend requests, guys. I do accept. This is a different account.
well, hopefully get turned around. I still think the game's gonna turn around this year. I know people have thought about like the game's gonna die or whatever. I've already gone into the reasons why I don't think the game's gonna die. I definitely think they're being hamstrung right now, but we'll see how it goes.
No one's on anything. We understand you guys need dates. We want to give you dates when we have them. Right now we don't, and we want to give you a solid date.
I can't get mad at this game anymore. It's like when I break so many controllers because of COD, you just can't get mad. It's like you're over it. That's how I feel right now. I mean, yeah, I totally understand it. I mean, people go through that with FIFA every weekend, right? On Weekend League. I think at some point it does turn from like anger to like apathy, right? Where you're just like, okay, whatever happens at this point. I definitely feel like some people are at that point. I mean, to a certain extent, I'm at that point where it's like I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. I mean, I'm still gonna cover the game, obviously. I'm still gonna play it when I want to. But I think at this point, you know, I'm just personally and this is just personally, I'm personally just gonna wait and see what happens. You know, things could work out, things could not work out. But at this point, I'm just gonna kind of keep my head on straight, and you know, if the game rebounds, it's great. If the game doesn't rebound, I mean, such is life. Sucks, but you know. FIFA got it way worse than we do? Yeah, dude. Never play a weekend league. Maybe I should join the devs and get my mic on, ask them the hard question, make them sweat bricks. I mean, you could, but like all they'll really say is like this stuff we can't talk about.
I like Kamala.
June's asking about the King Hulk
Kate's also really
hair fix.
Steve Rogers.
Not entirely sure on this one specifically, but you bring it up helps me know.
No, not Mr. Rogers.
Okay, so it looks like that's something they haven't answered, but Calix will bring it up with them.
That would be interesting.
The marketplace is really something. Yeah, the marketplace this week is something. Like, if you like the Iron Man skin, if you like the Ultraman skin, I mean, that's the best one. Because the rest of it is just like recolors. You know what I mean? I just want to count how many students I got hit with. I mean, to be fair, I mean, like I've said, man. Unfortunately, their hands are tied, right? Like, if they okay, so here's the thing, man. Like, unless we're gonna start GoFundMe's for like their living expenses, they really can't fucking talk about anything, right? Because like at that point, they're just like throwing their career away. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? As much as like we would love to see a rogue employee be like, all right, guys, like here we go, like here's everything, you know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, if they like their jobs and their careers, which I imagine they may, they just can't say anything. John, I know, brother. I know, man. I know. I do have to like reiterate these things, right? Because maybe people like because I know you're memeing, man, but I have to address this to like the greater audience. You know what I mean? Like, because there are people who do think that way, right? And like I said, you know it because you obviously you know the deal, but the greater audience may actually think that. You know what I mean? So. I just love enticing reactions off you.
You know, I think we all...
Besides King Hulk, Unworthy Thor and Gladiator Hulk, I just had that skin that was like, I timed the whale.
Scary.
I mean, and that's the thing too, right? Like, what's the last few skins I bought? I didn't even buy King Hulk, which I regret. I should have bought King Hulk. But then I bought the James Bond Black Widow villain, which was pretty cool. Like, that was a pretty cool Widow skin. But other than that, I agree with you. There's not like other than King Hulk, which I didn't buy, there's really nothing that I've gone out and said like, I need this skin. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest failure. That's the biggest failure of the marketplace. And whether that's through like their art direction or whether that's through like them trying to differentiate themselves from like everything else going on right now. They need skins that make that drive that FOMO. And if they don't have skins that drive that FOMO, then there's like apathy towards the marketplace. This Black Widow skin isn't bad. Hold on.
Oldest excuse in the book. My
like
internet is failing.
Let me see which
My
one that
internet
I forget. I already, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I already
But
forget
I
which
think,
one it is.
My internet's actually okay today. I'm not seeing like any dropped frames or anything. So
Whoa, Andy, I have 1,200 drop frames,
Good.
bro. Your shit's better than mine, brother. Your shit's better than mine, brother.
When's the next updated war table?
Excuse me.
Keep an eye out on our social channels. That's the first place where you'll see it. You won't see it. You probably won't see it anywhere else.
Which means they cannot talk about it.
So that's the best source of information.
Let me see. Oh, this.
are the
Wait, which
ones
one did you
who
say? Fucking the best one?
have
The
keys
widow
to the
one.
kingdom
This
on
one.
those social channels, so technically you'll be hearing from us.
I have 7,900 credits now. Nothing to spend it on. I feel that. I feel that. I feel that.
Can you hear my neighbors?
I get Iron Man in his suit, instant cop. Don't know how they work with the repulsor. I don't know, man. I always thought here's my thing. I would love to see. What's up, Nair? What's up, Bailey? How are you? I would love to see like custom, like not custom, obviously. I would love to see enhanced skins. That like different effects, stuff like that would be like super cool. But like stuff where it's like, I would love to see like an Iron Man skin where like say you load up into a mission, and then like the fucking suit builds around him. You know what I mean? Like he like drops in, and as he drops in, you can start to see the suit build up from like his fucking like fucking chest goes down to his legs so he can survive the jump, and then as it pulls away and you start seeing your Iron Man like in the start of the mission, the suit's just building up over his top body, and then the last thing you hear, because I don't know if you'd be able to see unless you turn the camera, is like the fucking shit come down on his face. Like shit like that would be super cool. That would be super cool. Also, Widow's hair is glitched too. Hair in the pic is red, but in the previous yellow. Wait, really? Can you send that? Can you send that to me? I actually haven't turned on the game yet today. I haven't turned on my PS5 at all today. I like woke up, I like drank my iced coffee, I had a donut, and I fired up the stream. If the hair on the skins is bugged right now, imagine how much more bugged the skins with. Yeah, well, obviously. This is like one of those things that'd be like a nice to have. You know what I mean? Like it's a nice to have. It's something that I'm gonna store away in my brain and say like this is what I want. Will it fucking probably ever happen? No, probably not. I'm just thinking like how fucking cool that would be. Like added effects to skins would probably. Honestly, if I was in charge of the marketplace, skins with added effects would be the $14 ones, right? Then the next tier would be like fucking $7 or whatever, and those are like your legendaries now. And then like you'd have like $3 skins, and then that's it. Like that would be it. Nothing is $14 unless they have added effects to them. You know what else would be nice to have, John? You could probably list off like a million things right there. That's a loaded question, young man.
I mean, it sucked, but it was also like pretty interesting.
I tell you that I didn't get a lot of sleep a lot.
Yeah,
The rest of Kate's missing
pretty much
content,
sleeps.
and that's a great point, man. Like missing Omega level threat, is like the greatest thing. What should I send it through? Send it, tweet it to me. If you can at least. I want that with a Hulk skin. Imagine World Breaker skin. You see Bruce Hulk up or Hulk up in the club. I die on contact of happy tears, bro. That was a struggle. I don't think my brain works anymore, boys. Dude, there's like so many cool things they could do with skins with added effects. I think it's just a matter of we probably may never get them, but it's something that I'll hold on to until the day I die or until this game dies. Because stuff like that is like really needed, you know. Just like what's the biggest complaint with like the marketplace right now, right? Is like, okay, there's a few for sure, but like one of the biggest ones is like none of these skins are worth $14. Okay, that's fair. But if they start adding like special effects to them, start giving them things that kind of differentiate them. What's that Iron Man one, the silver one? Fuck, I forget the name. Or it's the white one, I guess. Is it the all new whatever? This one. Oh, Superior Iron Man. Yeah. Superior Iron Man, right? Imagine this one. Like this one has some crazy shit too, right? This suit can do some crazy shit as well. Like stuff like this is like where you need to like realize it. You know what I mean? Superior Iron Man. Yeah, exactly. Please don't ignore. Give us a reason why people should continue to play this game
House
now.
of M is one of my favorites.
This is like, okay. So for anyone that's watching here instead of watching there, if like here's the thing, man. If games aren't fun to you, don't play the game. I know everyone wants to play this game. I want to play this game. But at the end of the day, you got to do stuff that's fun, man. If this isn't fun, it's you know, unfortunately it sucks. I get it. But you just gotta move on sometimes, you know? Just gotta move on, man. The one thing they did right in the marketplace they haven't added since the beginning, which are takedowns. Yeah, I don't like takedowns in the marketplace. I don't. I stopped playing. That's fair, man. At the end of the day, like games are entertainment and games are supposed to be fun. And if you're not having fun, then the game isn't doing right by you, and it's totally okay to walk away. I know some people will say they feel cheated, and I totally understand that. Some games aren't meant for everyone, and depending on how the game turns out with development and everything, it can totally morph into something you don't support or like or whatever. And it's totally okay to take breaks too. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Awesome. Thank you.
Was gonna play Outriders, but I wanted to play Outriders as well, man. Tristan. So yeah, and then preview, and then that's a bug. That's a bug. That's a bug. Please don't ignore. Thanks for that, JJ. By the way, I'll send that over. I'll send that over.
Okay. So that was I think we stayed longer just because of all the issues that I had with the account.
Is that it?
So sorry about that, guys.
Is that it?
But we're gonna end it here.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm
about to go to work. Ew.
Yeah, we're gonna end it here. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys
Give
for
me
playing.
a recap.
Yeah,
I'll give a recap.
These.
I'll give a recap.
Give you guys updates on any
later.
bugs
Okay.
and, any updates that we can give you, but this is mostly.
I'm a troll to find your number and leak it to them. Women from me and Peter that you will never find my number, my man. You will never find it. Good luck.
Thank you for coming.
Best of luck.
Layla, this is your first live stream. What do you thoughts?
All right. Okay, so if you've been here the last few days, I've said to everyone not to expect anything. So what did you guys think of the stream?
On the spot there. My brain's
Send me your number? What the fuck?
I just come up with thoughts.
Thoughts?
It's been fun.
Thoughts?
It's been fun. I wasn't
We
playing
don't
the game
keck
or
W in
anything,
here.
but that's okay.
L? Okay.
Feels
Okay.
nice talking to people and answering questions where I can.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming. I hope that we can give you more information.
Why her glasses on upside down? She's quirky, radical, dude.
But game development is extremely hard, especially
7 out of 10. If no Layla, 3 out of 10.
So,
Okay.
We want.
Yeah,
to
why the
give you
fuck are
guys
her
all this
glasses
information.
upside
We want to give you guys an exact date, and we will eventually. so
Quirky.
keep an eye out. Thank you guys for coming. We'll see you guys next time. Yeah. And embrace your powers. Just want to put that in there.
Tyler has 18 more viewers. Has 18 viewers, 100% more understanding than the stream with 600 viewers.
Hashtag
I mean, to be fair, I can just say whatever the fuck I want. You know what I mean?
We love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye. All right. Did it even raid anyone? Andy, where's my raid, you asshole? Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't. Never mind. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Fuck. I shouldn't have said that. Oh shit, dude. Peaches, thanks for the 4. Okay, so here's the main part of I'm clipping it. Unbelievable. Keck W. We don't keck W in this stream, guys. Is a clue of the state of the game. All right, so here's like the absolute recap. You're on the CD hit list now. I probably am, dude. Okay, I'm going to work. All right, Peaches. I'll talk to you later. Try and survive work today. Hope no one's standing outside your work door waiting for you. So here's the recap. Basically, I'll make it short and sweet. Square Enix has tied their hands. They can't talk about much, and that's it, man. Bye, bestie. I'll catch you later. There's just really not much they can actually do. So it is just what it is at this point. I'm gonna do more of these, like just kind of talk alongside of them. Just kind of give my opinion. Here's the recap soon. Yeah, I mean, like realistically, that's all you got. It's unfortunate that like at this point their hands are tied, that they can't talk about things with regards to state of the game, with regards to future updates, with regards to even some of the bugs that they may be experiencing with certain content pieces that have been tied up in development. There's just so much that it seems like they can't talk about at the moment, and unfortunately they kind of get thrown to the wolves a little bit on these streams. I was expecting it to be a lot worse than it was. It seemed like for the most part the chat wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, but maybe that's a sign of people just not, I don't know if that's a sign of people not caring or it's a sign of people understanding, you know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't expecting anything until the 30th, to be honest. So here's kind of like, so here's Kate Bishop release date. Hold on. So Kate Bishop was released December 8th. Okay, so when was the? So it looks like it got announced the 19th, right? Is that kind of? I think I'm correct on that one, right? The 19th to the 8th. So let me look at how many weeks that was. So 19th, 1, 2, 3. Right. So I would imagine that if they're planning to release Clint in February, right? So let's ballpark it. Let's kind of ballpark it and say that Clint's gonna get released like this week. You know what I mean? So let's fucking the 8th was like what, a Friday? Was that a Friday or a Tuesday? Oh fucking no, it was a Tuesday. So let's ballpark and say Clint would probably get released on the 16th. That means that any sort of announcement would have to come 1, 2, 3. So maybe I'm off a week. Maybe we get something next week, but more than likely we probably get an announcement this week, which would be the week of the 30th. So stop your jinxing and wait for the YouTube videos soon. True. Don't worry, you got plenty of time to hide. Somehow they didn't finish killing Avengers. My Xbox is Kate under an event. It says ends on the 20th. I don't know what that means. Yeah, that's interesting because I've seen that too, and I don't know what that means either. Because that's brand new. Like that's new. Like that's something that's just recently popped up. So, but I don't know. Like maybe it's an announcement. There's no way they drop like an announcement and then patch like within that. So maybe I'm off a week instead of announcing this week. They announce something this week, and then 3 weeks after that. Then 3 weeks after that, it just moves it up to the week of like the second week of February. You know. So I definitely think in the next 2 weeks we'll hear something. I never really expected to hear anything this week because it seems like a lot of them just got back to work on the 11th. So I imagine this week was kind of getting back into gear. Maybe this week is finalizing any sort of announcements. And then this week is where they start kind of announcing things. I could totally be off by that. Who knows? But fuck, who knows, man? Who knows? Kamala assembled the Avengers, but Square is assembling the player base one soon at a time. Yeah, and it's unfortunate, man, because at some point, like, people's patience do run thin, right? Like, that's why I said, like, I understand, like, you guys are upset, you guys are angry. I get it. I'm upset. I'm frustrated. You know, but I think at this point, it is what it is, man. I'm gonna do these every fucking week, just so you know we can have like an honest conversation about the game, because I think you don't really get a good conversation in here, but I think what we had today was a good conversation, you know. Maybe that's a deadline for the Omega threat, because technically speaking, the DLC hasn't gotten all its content released. That's an interesting theory. I don't, but to be fair, I don't know. We'll have to wait for the 20th. You know what I mean? Like, something could happen here, something could not happen here. I wouldn't put too much stock into it. Like I don't want to tell you guys, oh my god, the 20th, that really sounds like it could be something, because then if the 20th comes out and there's nothing there, well, I fucking look like an idiot, because I'm telling you guys, oh my god, the 20th, blah, 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 and then like nothing happens. So you know what I mean? So all I'm gonna say, like I was saying earlier this week, when it comes to like the blog yesterday and the stream today, expect nothing, and if we get something, you know, great. Same thing for the 20th, guys. Like, if we get something, very cool. If we get nothing, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's weird we didn't get a game update yet. That's true too. That's actually true too. I would have liked to see an update this far, even if it was like a bug fixes or quality of life. You're exactly right, because there's obviously some stuff that, you know, obviously King Hulk is still lurking around, right? But the only thing I can theorize is that they're putting out a big patch soon. I mean, one of the things that we did get is like New Game Plus is in QA, right? So that right there could be like an early hint that like a big patch is on the way. But it's tough to say. Would you even get some spare change? Yeah. I mean, if you like the New Game Plus, hearing that it's in QA right now is probably a cool thing for you. I don't necessarily care about New Game Plus, so for me it's like whatever. The only way I would care about New Game Plus is if they were able to kind of take those environments and reuse them, right? Like there's a lot of cool environments in the campaign that I would have liked to see them kind of take out and make missions out of, like Warzone missions or whatever, because I think that would have been really cool. I don't know if that's still in the cards, but I think introducing like a new game plus maybe opens the door for that kind of stuff to be used in the future, you know? I think it's the last day to play Kate's story, and after that, again, ready for Hawkeye War Table list. I don't know if the operations are going away. I don't know if I don't think the operations are going away. And this is a good point that I've thought about too, is at what point do they redo their war table setup, right? Because like eventually that war table, like the UI is gonna be very busy. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be a lot going on. You're gonna have like Avengers Initiative operation. You'll have Kate's operation. You'll have Hawkeye's operation. You'll have Black Panther's operation. And it's a lot of like clicking around to find out what you want to do and how you want to do it. And one of the things that I find personally, and you guys can talk about this, is like there's a lot of fragmentation between like the missions in the UI, right? You have to click this mission and then that mission and then this and that and this and that. And it just seems like there's a lot of clicking to figure out what you want to do. It's like a lot of visual information that you have to decipher just to figure out what you want to do. And I wonder if that's something they may address in the future when all these new characters and missions and operations start coming out. Because yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit there that you really have to parse through just to figure out what you want to play. So I mean, what I would do is I would probably break it down by like what it is, right? Like an attack sector, defend, or whatever the fuck, you know, and then probably break it down like that. But I mean, that's another key point, you know. They really do need to eventually start paying attention more to the diehards more than the casuals. I mean, to me, it seems like New Game Plus is like that last bastion of like, here's your single player content, you know? Like, it seems like they're gonna go and give you guys, like, give the people who want that single player content New Game Plus, and then after that, you know, you'll get your single player content in the stories of the characters, right? Hawkeye will have his story, but after that, you know, ideally after that, you come back right into your multiplayer gameplay loop, you know? Every time they drop single player casual content, I get flats. It's fair. That's fair. I understand, man. It's fuck. I mean, you could like. I mean, we could sit here all night and kind of pick the game apart. I mean, they still got to do the casual end game content. I mean, they do. Like, here's the thing. Like, aka MCU skins, and it's actually interesting because I had a conversation on my Discord yesterday where I talked about the MCU skins, and I said MCU skins is a great way to bring people into the game, right? Like when you think about a lot of people's first introduction to Marvel was MCU, right? And I said if you're looking to try to bring people into the game, MCU skins are a great way. But the problem is if you bring MCU skins and you attract people like, oh my god, I can play as Mark 85 or whatever. The problem is that they're still running into the issue of the content, right? So you can bring people in, right, with MCU skins, which evidently they probably will. But then you still run into the issue of like, what do those players do after they play the campaign, or they do this or they do that, right? So I mean, like every problem is like multifaceted, right? Like I don't think there's any issue that you look at and you can say like one change fixes it. It seems like there's so many changes they have to make in like lockstep with each other in order to kind of identify and address all these things that are problems with the game, you know? I hope they make the last mission a mega level threat. That might be my first MODOK villain set. Yeah, I mean that's probably like the best mission in the game, you know. They would make so much more money releasing them team bundles for a lower price every time a new hero releases. Yeah, or make bundles. Yeah, bundles are like a great way to drive sales. Bundles are a great way to drive sales. You know what I mean? And bundles are a great way to get you to buy skins you never would have, right? Think about like the Fortnite bundles. Normies don't usually continue playing these sort of games after they finish the campaign. True, but I think you gotta like give them reasons to, right? You're not gonna capture every single casual player. That's just obvious, right? Like you're not gonna capture every single casual player, but you could capture a percentage of them. Now, whether that's 2%, 5%, 10%, there is still a percentage of those players that you could capture through your gameplay, through your missions. Through the design of your interiors, your exteriors. There's so many things that could capture them, but it definitely depends on like the design, top to bottom. How do you do it? What do you do? But yeah, you're not going to capture every single person because some people, yeah, are just like, I think my brother and my uncle are perfect examples, right? They just want to play the campaign, and then once the campaign's done, they may check out the DLC characters, but they just want to play the main campaign. They don't necessarily care about the gear grind or this or that. And that's just kind of the reality of those situations, you know. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I mean, unfortunately, unfortunately for the community, everything's just in like a holding pattern right now. You know what I mean? Like everything to do with the game on our side is in a holding pattern. It sounds like the community team, everything on their side is a holding pattern. Until they get approvals to talk about shit. Like it's really not a good time for a lot of people involved with the game, you know? But shit sucks. Shit sucks, man. And that's really all there is to it. Really all there is to it, fellas. Outside of DLC villains, I wonder who the first villain's going to be. I think they would have to continue Loki's story, no? I think Loki has been set up that they like have to finish his story, you know? Like they can't tease Loki and like the altercations and everything, and then Loki just kind of wanders off and we never see him again. So they announce anything? Only thing that was like kind of announced was that New Game Plus is in QA. That's really the only thing. They kind of addressed some things that said like as much as they want to talk about things, like they can't. Like their hands are tied. It's just wait. I just can't. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, boys. It is what it is, man. You know, like it is what it is. We'll have to wait and see, man. We'll have to wait and see. It like at the end of the day, shit sucks right now. We can only hope that shit doesn't suck eventually. And if it does continue to suck, you know, there's really nothing much as on the consumer end. There's really nothing much that we can do other than wait and see, right? We're like they're driving the car. In some respects, Crystal's driving the car and we're in the passenger seat. In some respects, Square is driving the car and Crystal and us as the community are in the passenger seats. You know, oh well. Honestly, like him a lot more than I used to. Of course, there's still things I agree on. But at the end of the day, he wants to see the game succeed. I think at the end of the day, a lot of people want to see the game succeed. You know, I don't necessarily know of anyone who wants to see the game die, but I think there's ways that you can go about voicing your opinions and, you know, kind of engaging in those discussions on that probably articulates and illustrates your point better than others. And that just comes down to how you go about your content style, you know? I don't want to be in any other cars. Throw me out back. I'm running out of ammunition. I need more bullets. Kristen has helped me help you. Yeah. Ah, fuck. Who knows, man? Who knows, boys? Who knows? All right. Here's the deal, fellas. Here's the deal, man. Like they did with this game. No, I'm not trying to get torn to pieces. All right. Here's the deal, fellas. I'm going to go watch some hockey. I'm going to go eat some dinner and watch some hockey. I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to play Avengers tomorrow, actually. So if you guys want to come talk some more about Avengers, I'll be playing it tomorrow. I'm going to go raid Miller, so you guys can go talk to Miller about the multiplayer bug. You can go ask him to clarify on that.